Well, you could have knocked me down with a feather. Matt Gaetz, the firebrand from Florida, gone from Congress, resigned just like that. Apparently, it's all to clear the way for his new gig Attorney General of the United States of America. Trump, you've got to hand it to him, loves a good shake-up. And this one, folks, this is a big one. Gaetz is a fighter, a true believer in the Trump cause. He's been there since day one, defending the president against all comers. Now, he's being rewarded big time, but let's not kid ourselves, this is going to be a bumpy ride. Gaetz is a lightning rod for controversy. He doesn't back down, doesn't apologize. He's going to ruffle some feathers, and that's putting it mildly. The Democrats are already beside themselves. They're calling it a travesty, a disgrace. They say Gaetz is unqualified, dangerous. They're going to fight this tooth and nail. Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a wild one. Why Gaetz? It's the question on everyone's lips. Well, let's break it down. First and foremost, the man is loyal. Trump values loyalty above all else, and Gaetz has it in spades. He's been a staunch defender of the president, even when it was politically unpopular. Second, Gaetz is a fighter. He's not afraid to take on the establishment, the swamp, the deep state, call it what you will. Trump admires that kind of tenacity, that willingness to go against the grain. Third, and let's not be naive here, Gaetz is a showman. He knows how to grab headlines, how to get people talking, and in the age of social media, that's a valuable commodity. Trump knows that with Gaetz at the helm of the Justice Department, there's going to be fireworks. He knows it's going to drive the Democrats crazy. And frankly, I think he relishes that, but this isn't just about sticking it to the Democrats. Trump genuinely believes that Gaetz will be a strong Attorney General. He sees him as someone who will shake things up, who will challenge the status quo. Whether Gaetz is up to the task, well, that's a whole other question. But one thing's for sure, he's going to make things interesting. Predictably, the announcement of Gaetz's nomination sent shockwaves through Washington. The Democrats, still smarting from their election defeat, went into overdrive. Chuck Schumer, never one to mince his words, called it an absolute outrage, a danger to democracy itself. Nancy Pelosi, bless her cotton socks, actually looked speechless for once. Then she regained her composure and launched into a tirade about how Gaetz was unfit for office, how he was a threat to the rule of law. Yawn. But it wasn't just the Democrats who were up in arms. Plenty of Republicans, particularly those of the establishment variety, were less than thrilled with the news. They see Gaetz as a loose cannon, a liability. They worry that he'll do more harm than good. And then there's the media. Oh, the media. They've been having a field day with this one. Every little detail of Gaetz's past is being scrutinized. Every controversial statement he's ever made is being replayed ad nauseum. The knives are out, folks, there's no doubt about it. But Gaetz, I suspect, is relishing every minute of it. He's a fighter, and he's not going down without a fight. Section 4, can Gaetz survive the Senate gauntlet? So, the big question is, can Gaetz actually become Attorney General? Well, he's got a tough road ahead of him, that's for sure. First, he's got to get through the Senate confirmation hearings, and trust me, those are going to be brutal. The Democrats are going to grill him on everything, his past, his beliefs, his relationship with Trump. They're going to throw everything they've got at him, hoping something sticks. And they might just succeed. Gaetz is a polarizing figure, and there are plenty of senators, even some Republicans, who have serious reservations about him. He's going to need every ounce of his charm, his wit, and his fighting spirit to survive, but if anyone can pull it off, it's Gaetz. He's got a knack for defying expectations. Of course, even if he does survive the hearings, there's no guarantee he'll get confirmed. The Democrats are already talking about filibustering his nomination, and they might just have the numbers to do it. It's going to be a nail-biter, folks, right down to the wire. But one thing's for sure, we're in for one heck of a show. Section 5, what next for Gaetz in the AG's office? Let's say, just for a moment, that Gaetz does pull it off. Let's say he survives the hearings, he survives the vote, and he becomes the 85th Attorney General of the United States. What then? Well, one thing's for sure, it wouldn't be dull. Gaetz is a force of nature, and he'd shake up the Justice Department like never before. He's already talked about investigating the deep state, rooting out corruption, and restoring law and order. Of course, what that means in practice is anyone's guess. Gaetz is a bit of a wild card, and it's hard to predict what he'd do with that kind of power. One thing's for sure, though. he wouldn't be afraid to use it. Gaetz is a fighter, and he'd go after his enemies with everything he's got. Whether those enemies are real or imagined, well, that's another question entirely. As for his vacant congressional seat, well, that's going to be a whole other circus. The Democrats will be fighting tooth and nail to flip it, while the Republicans will be scrambling to find a suitable replacement for their fallen star. So there you have it, folks. The Gaetz saga continues. Buckle up, because it's going to be a bumpy ride.